Sure shot, baby! So, good day, everyone. We're here for another episode of the DVD show. So, for today, we have a current player of the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel, and he's a wing player for the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel, one of the most versatile players in the PBA ever since his Talk and Text days. So, I'll now welcome to the DVD show, Jared Dillinger. Thank you for coming on here on the podcast.
Thanks, Diego. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the gracious introduction. Man.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later, like how you're versatile, like one of the most versatile players on the league.
Sure. I'll try my best. Jeez.
Yeah, but to start
Okay.
things off, I just want to ask how you are. Like before we started recording, you talked about like your training. So how has it been for Ginebra ever since the training resumed, even if it's from Batangas to your home?
Right. It's been great. Like it's a hassle. Call it what you want. It's far. For those who don't know, our team is driving back and forth from Batangas to our houses, and for our protocol, we can't leave our house, can't go to the grocery store, everything like nowhere. It's just really our house and the venue where we're going to practice at. But in all honesty, we do not care. Like this, we're so happy to play basketball again and to be doing something, like our livelihoods essentially. So we're having a good time. It's good seeing everyone again. We're excited to get started. So whatever happens, it's not ruining our day. I promise.
Yeah. How's the contract tracing? Because I heard in another interview that you guys can get really punished. Like the punishments are really heavy if you like.
Yeah.
Rules.
I don't know the numbers. I do know that if someone gets positive that the whole team has to go in quarantine, there's maybe 100,000 peso fine.
Yeah, something.
Don't quote me on it. It's something gnarly like that. So it's a pretty serious thing. We have to police each other and hold each other accountable here and make sure we're following protocols, because this thing is bigger than any individual. Like we don't want to be the one that stops the PBA season for going along because the ITF thinks this is too shady or too risky. So we're all being careful.
Yeah. That's really great. Like I know, like one of the proprietor of the ones who planned the practice was like Coach Richard Del Rosario. Like he was on 2OT like a few weeks back, and he had a great plan on how this thing was gonna work, and now it's leading to fruition. I mean, it's starting, and there's no like problems so far.
That was him again. I didn't even know that. Coach Richard, that dude is.
Yeah, he was part of the committee that planned it.
Of course he is. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised by that. That guy, he's always planning 5-6 steps ahead. Every time you talk to that guy, he's such a smart coach.
Yeah, like
okay.
Yeah, he's like a comedian also, and he was an analyst also before he was coaching you guys. But
yeah,
he's also good. Really smart with these things.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. Yeah. Makes sense.
How about the team? Like you guys haven't seen each other like physically. Maybe you did last March, like a few days only before the ECQ. But the last time it was like December pa. How's like the team? You guys miss each other a lot?
No, we did not miss each other one bit. We see each other a lot on these team Zoom calls that our coach conducts.
Oh. Okay.
But to be honest, it was cool seeing everyone again though. Recently, now that practice began, but during that whole like kind of 5-month hiatus, we were still in the group chats talking to each other and staying connected. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Do you guys have like bonding activities, like team building? Like I've heard like some volleyball teams, they play some like games at night,
right.
Like for fun lang to like catch up also. Like they play Call of Duty or something. You guys have stuff like that.
We'll play Call of Duty sometimes, or Coach Cohn will make us listen to these seminars, online seminars, just teaching values of leadership and teamwork and, just all these important necessities that you need to know for the game. We'll watch that together and talk about it a little bit. That's really all we can really do. We can't really have a lot of team activities. Right now, we're just grateful to be practicing right now.
Yeah. How about the conditioning of the team? Like there was a time in the bubble, some of your players like Japet in LA, they weren't starting right away because they weren't as conditioned compared to players like Scotty or Aljon. But then
Right.
also other teams, there were other players that weren't as conditioned as other teams also. It was like pretty obvious. Has the conditioning been? Like are you guys getting there? Like you're progressing well?
We're Yeah, we are. We are. There's a couple guys that are kind of shaking the cobwebs, and they're going to play themselves in shape. But more so than not, the whole team is okay. We're ready to go. I think that's just a byproduct of just waiting so long for the season to start. Everyone's just kind of foaming at the mouth, ready to go. You know, everyone's motivated. Everyone's training at home. So everyone's just, I think, a little over anxious at this point.
Yeah. How about the new additions? Because people are talking about Christian Standhardinger a lot. Like I asked Joe also when I had him on my podcast on how he fits
Okay.
in well with the team. Plus, you have Ken Holmquist, Brian Enriquez, and MJI, I believe. So how have they
Yeah.
been fitting in with the squad? Like, yeah.
It's, just like all people, they're all great guys. They're all cool, but good vibes, good kids, all, happy to be here, wanting to work. I want to help the team any way they can. But it's been hard because, we don't have a full team yet right now. So the things that we're going over in practice is a little bit overwhelming. So they're trying to catch up to the offense. They're trying to understand the philosophy, and it's kind of just a big, just kind of whizzing by all of them.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it's great. They're having a good time.
Yeah. The triangle, some players really had a tough time learning it, even in like your foods with Coach Tim, with Silla Mark.
Yeah, some of that stuff takes time, man.
Yeah.
So it's just, you can't rush it. You just got to kind of go through the reps and just go over it again until you start picking up on it. So I mean, it's like this every year. When you get a bunch of new guys, you got to teach them the offense or the philosophy.
Yeah,
It takes a little bit of time.
I feel they'll get it, especially Christian. Like I see him, he buys into the system. Even when he was in San Miguel, he wasn't like a starter, but he was like sacrificing the minutes and the touches that he didn't receive from Northport.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Christian is he's a cerebral player. Like he knows it. Like he's not the most pretty guy to look at in terms of watching him. He's not writing poetry out there on the floor, that's for sure. But he gets it done, and he's good because of his brain. Mm-hmm. So that's our team. That's a byproduct of our team. We're a really smart team. That's what makes us good. So he's gonna fit in just fine.
Hopefully, because I'm a huge Ginebra fan, so I hope that he's able to play well.
Yeah, you'll see, man. Like as soon as he got here, he's gonna gel right in. It's gonna be pretty. We're all pretty excited.
Yeah, so it'll be tough for the league to stop Japet and Christian, the Twin Towers.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of teams, man. There are a lot of hungry teams out there, so it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I was laughing when you mentioned to Mikey that he shouldn't jinx it, that you guys are like the best team or the favorites, because that's
never gonna say something like that.
Yeah, it might not happen.
Never.
Lead to the championship because of what people are saying.
Yeah, no way. I'm never gonna say anything like that.
Yeah. So for the next part of the interview, I like talking about also where you came from, like your upbringing, like especially you didn't grow up here in the Philippines. And so where did you grow up, and what were like your childhood activities, and was it basketball already, or were you trying other things like theater or arts or other things before basketball?
So I grew up in Colorado and had a great childhood. And my dad, he had me in every sport growing up. And I was just such a restless type of kid. So he put me in, American football and football or soccer, that we call it.
Yeah.
And of course, basketball and track and field. I boxed a little bit. I was in BMX racing. I did that for a while. Baseball. Dude, I was in so many activities, right? And through the years, as I got a little bit older, I kind of just crossed out one by one as I got a little older, the ones that I didn't like the least and whatnot. And by the end of it, by the time I was a junior in high school, I stopped all the sports and just focused on basketball. And then that's when things really started getting serious.
So what made basketball like your favorite? Like why did you choose that among the other ones?
It was just so fun. It was fun because of the atmosphere, and it was so quick paced compared to some of the sports I was doing. Like track would take a long time to prepare for, or baseball is a little slow. Football, it was going hand in hand with American football, and basketball, because they're both exciting to me. But I just chose it because the culture. I love the culture behind basketball, and that's what kind of led me to stay in that and pick that to try to, make it to the pros.
Was it a tough decision for you, or you really liked it already because of the culture of the sport and how it's played?
It was hard. It was hard to stop the other sports because it got to the point where it was just so busiest weekends, because I'm playing in multiple sports, or they would coincide with each other. So it was hard to stop. Basketball as a kid, that wasn't my best sport. I wasn't very good at it, to be honest. I didn't get a lot of Division I offers coming out of high school. So I just liked it more. You know what I'm saying? It was more of a passion, more than just, it's going to be my meal ticket out of here type of thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So was there any lessons though that you learned from the other sports that you were able to bring from basketball? Like, can you nitpick some lessons from, since you tried a lot of other things, maybe like the determination or something?
Right. Man, these are some solid questions, man. All sports, as you get older, you don't realize you're learning stuff when you're a kid, when you play sports. You really don't. You don't. As you get older, you think back and you start reflecting about, like, learning to socialize with, different people, like interacting and communicating with people who aren't the same as you, and having one common goal, sacrificing things like things that matter to you as a kid, like going out to parties or chasing girls, or drinking alcohol, stuff like things like that, that you have to sacrifice because you have a game the next day, or something along those lines. So as you get older, you learn, like, it teaches you discipline, it teaches you how to work hard, because you work hard, results come with that. And you slowly start understanding, like, man, this shit, you can apply this to the real world. This shit's kind of dope. Right.
So when you had that mindset already of the discipline, and you mentioned that you didn't have a lot of offers in D1 like initially, how did you keep that mindset of being disciplined, and like you still had the goal at sight, even if you weren't that like highly recruited or highly touted entering the division?
You just kept your head down, and you would find ways to stay motivated. Everyone has a vice to what keeps them motivated. For me, it was my high school head coach telling me that I'm not good enough to play Division I, and that just ate me up inside. I was so angry he said that. And to the point where I wrote this quote that he said on this little note card I had. I folded it up and put it in my wallet, so I would always just remember like what he said. And it's crazy. I just wanted to prove him wrong. That's the only thing I wanted to do. The only main reason I wanted to make D1. And so when I made it, called him up, told him, like, Coach, I told you, man, I did it. I told you, man. I told you. And he was laughing and was happy. But it's stuff like that.
Yeah, like it's similar maybe to what Michael Jordan's high school coach felt like when he cut Michael Jordan in high school. Like, he proved them wrong in college until the pros. So maybe that's what
a terrible analogy to use with me and Michael Jordan. But I mean, that's
that's not terrible. It's fine.
Jeez. But it's so funny. People talk about that thing about Jordan, but he got cut from the varsity team to play on the JV team. And he was a freshman or sophomore. So he didn't get cut from the team. He just didn't get to play on varsity. And then people made it into something different.
Maybe they exaggerated.
They exaggerated. They did, man. Or they just twisted the truth a little bit. They weren't lying.
Yeah, that's true.
He technically did get cut, but not from the team.
So you said that you made it to the Division One. So what school did you go to, and what were the other schools that you were also considering?
I was a smart kid. I went to the Air Force Academy out of college.
Oh, okay.
And, for those who don't know, it's a crazy hard school to get into in the United States. It's like an Ivy League. It's better than an Ivy League, essentially.
Okay.
So it's super hard. You have to be really smart. It's a Division One though.
Yeah.
So I had other Division One offers, but only in the state area. CU, Colorado State. But that's really it. It was nothing too much. So I went to military school there just for a little bit, for about 3 years, and I transferred to University of Hawaii. It's also a Division One school, and two great schools on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of one being the most conservative school you can imagine, and then Hawaii being Hawaii. Like everyone has a mind set of what they think Hawaii is, and greatest experience I've ever had for my college experience. It was awesome.
Did you ever considering going to the Air Force, like rather than being a basketball player, when you were in college?
When I first got there, I was into it. I was like, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. Like, this is dope. Like not many people get to do this. Like, I'm all about it. And as the years went on, there's a rule there that you can't play professional basketball unless it's the NBA. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
That's it. So essentially, if I graduated from the Air Force and here comes the PBA knocking on my door, the Air Force would say, nope, you're not allowed to leave. You have to serve in the military first. Sorry, son.
Okay.
You have to be here for 4 to 6 years.
Oh, that's a long time. That's a lot of sacrifice.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a big sacrifice. Like my friends that stayed at that college to finish their careers, they played basketball. They couldn't play pros anywhere. They had to wait and serve for 4 years. But by that time, they're 27, 28. It's a little bit harder to get into the pros when you're older. So that's hence why I went to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's kind of tough if you're around that age already. Maybe it's not like your prime already, because some players, when they enter, they have like a few years before they enter their prime, like how others also in the PBA. But then if you're already 27, 28, that's not that young anymore.
And you're in the military still, and you're not playing the greatest competition. After you graduate from college, right, you get sent to some military base to do your work there, and you can play ball there, but that's it. So it's a really huge life-changing decision on like if you want to stay at that school and finish, or you want to try to press your luck and go somewhere else.
Yeah, there were some like volleyball players. They're part of the Army here in the Philippines, and they play for the team called Army. I think they're all part of the Army also. But they have a ton of sacrifice that they go through as well. But I'm not sure if it's like yours. Maybe a bit less extravagant than that. But then I've read articles that they also encounter a ton of sacrifices.
I'm sure. If they're in some military institution, I can only imagine how much sacrifice they have to do. Just thinking of military right now just makes me cringe. Just waking up early and doing boot camp or cleaning your room, and it's terrible.
That's the discipline you were referring to a while ago. You're really gonna.
I got disciplined. Yeah, I got disciplined over there.
Yeah, for sure. So how about moving to Hawaii? What was the reason for you to move there? Was it more of a basketball decision or a
I was a
family
kid.
decision?
I was a kid making my own decisions.
Oh, okay.
I could have gone anywhere, man. I could have gone anywhere in the United States because of where I was coming from. And I was thinking about going to an Ivy League school. I was thinking about going to Dartmouth or Columbia. And just being a kid, of course, I was thinking about Hawaii because I always had an infatuation about it. And I got connected with the coach. I could play ball there. It's all okay. Everything's ready to go. And it was just like Ivy League or Hawaii.
Yeah.
And,
how many years were you there? Like, how was the whole experience before you went to the Philippines?
Hawaii?
In Hawaii. How many years were you there?
So I went to school there for 3 years. Went to school there for 3 years. Still consider my home. Like when all is said and done here, I'm going to move back, be in Hawaii, and just be bouncing back and forth between here and Hawaii.
Okay.
But it is essentially like a very clean version of the Philippines. People are happy. People are always smiling, good weather, great food, but like cleaner, you know?
Yeah, cleaner. Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty. I don't know, but here it's pretty difficult. Like with that, yeah, pollution and other
mm-hmm,
environments and
mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
But good vibes, good culture. Like it's really cool place to be in if you can like if you're about that island life, you know?
Yeah. How about the basketball life there? Were you also successful in your school there before going here to the Philippines? That's why you got discovered.
Yeah, that's how I got discovered. There's a large Filipino community in Hawaii, if you don't know that.
Mm.
And I started playing there, and I looked really Filipino there. If you look up my college photos, like just super long, I have longer hair, but I'm, no beard or anything, and I look like a kid, and I'm really dark. So I looked Filipino, and the word spread, and found out that I was in fact Filipino. A huge Filipino crowd would start coming to the games, and of course, somehow word of mouth, I got people heard about that in the Philippines, and scouts were flying in, watching my games. Coach Chot was hitting me up and giving me that offer to like come play with my team, and we'll put you on the national team right away. Like we'll take care of you, and it really just snowballed from there. And as soon as I finished up my season, flew to the Philippines, and it was just this huge roller coaster ride from the very beginning. And I blinked 3 times, and now it's 13 years later. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, you were a very terrific player then for many scouts to go there to fly in to watch you play. And Coach
Well, it
Chot
was a different time too. It's a different time. You got to understand. YouTube wasn't really YouTube. This is the day when like MySpace was popular.
Friendster.
Yeah. So globalization didn't really go off in the internet world yet. Like you couldn't just look me up on my highlights and shit. I'm literally like they got to see me through VHS tapes or DVDs to be sent to them. It's different. So that's why they had to do stuff like that.
In your batch of Filipinos, was it only you that was a really good player, or were there other Filipinos?
Oh no, our batch was solid, man. No, heavens no. My batch was, Jason Castro, Gabe Norwood, Jeff Chan.
In Hawaii. How about in Hawaii?
My batch. Well, how do you say the question again?
Oh, like when the coaches and the scouts went there and to Hawaii to watch you, was it focused on you only, or were they also?
Yeah, I was the only Filipino on the team. So,
okay.
But it was funny because you say that because you're making it sound so nice, but really I was getting made fun of by my teammates because no one knew what the PBA was. At least
there.
My school, my team, my guys, no one knew about the PBA. They just think Philippines, third world country. That sounds terrible. No disrespect. That's just that was just their opinion of it. They're just kids, But I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was such a crazy adventure that first year.
So when you moved here to the Philippines, was it like a easy decision for you? Because you said you were like a young adult enjoying life in Hawaii, and then people like scouted you to play here, and you were like unaware of how life is here. So how was the feeling of the decision of playing?
I was just going with the flow. Like to be honest, like I was on my own by 18. I was already making decisions for myself, and so I just figured like, hey, go to the Philippines. Home is always going to be here. The worst that can happen is I don't like it and I'm done. I can just go right back home. No big deal. And, I didn't have plans of being in the Philippines. I really thought I was going to go to Europe and play a year or two of pros just to say like, hey guys, I played pro. And then come back home and, be a banker or something.
Yeah.
And so I didn't expect my career to be where it's at today.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you moved here to the Philippines, it wasn't the PBA right away also. But then before that, before moving here, how do you adjust pala to the culture? Like, the environment, was it tough for you? Like with the people, you said that similar to Hawaii, but a bit cleaner, but like the people like mingling and interacting with other people. How was that?
Nah, it wasn't hard at all, man. It was, like Filipinos were so welcoming and gracious as long as, you don't come in and act all yabang and be an asshole. People are going to treat you really nice. And, you know, I'm a really nice guy. So when I first got here, I was playing for this amateur team called the Pampanga Smart Buddies.
Okay.
I just hung out with my teammates every day. And it was fun. Yeah, they made fun of me because I couldn't speak too well. And they taught me bad words, or, you know, we'd go out of town and hang out and drink and like just being around them and being in the culture. They're the ones who really like baptized me, you know, to be a Filipino, or however you want to say it. You know, it was awesome. It was so much fun.
Yeah, how's the Tagalog going? Like you and Joe, do you guys do like the Tagalog challenges?
I'm way better than Joe, first of all. I'm way better than that dude. I've heard him speak. Like, I can throw on an accent, and I'm not great. I'm not trying to say that I'm great, but I'm way better than that dude, Joe. That dude's awful.
Yeah, did he make like a video about trying to speak Filipino?
Probably. He's probably just trying to be funny so he can get his views up.
Yeah, he's funny. He was talking about his vlog. He thought it was just for fun, and then in the bubble, people started watching it, and he got so many subscribers.
Yeah, he did. It's funny though, because I'll tell him now, like, man, no one watches your bullshit vlog anymore. They just watched it because of the basketball.
Yeah.
Because if you see it now, like, he's only getting like 10K or 6K compared to before. It was like 120 or something gnarly. Yeah. But we just like to give each other a hard time. Nothing is ever personal.
Yeah, you guys are really good friends. It's funny for a fan.
From a fan standpoint, yeah.
How about the food? And do you like Filipino food? Like going here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the basics. I don't like tons of saucy things.
Oh, okay.
Most of the dishes are really saucy. But I do like Filipino food, just as long as it's like tinola or a bland batch of adobo or lumpia. I don't like that liniguan or, you know, kari or pinakbet or stuff like that. But I love Filipino food though.
There's a lot of sauce. I also know a lot of people that don't like kare-kare also.
Really? I mean, it's just, you know, it's not for everyone. You know?
Yeah, it's not for everyone. They find it, I don't know. They just don't like the thought of having peanut butter in the food or something. Yeah,
it's just to each their own, right?
Yeah. How about the Liga Filipinas? I think that was like the league you were talking about a while ago.
Yeah.
What was that league? Like,
crazy.
To be honest, I was kind of young at that time, so I wasn't watching it. So how was that league? Was it like PBL or something?
It's crazy, dude. I could never tell you how the PBL was. I was never in it. PBA D League, I wasn't in it. I would watch it all the time.
Yeah.
But Liga, man, that shit was crazy, man. It's more like NBPL more than anything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you're going to, you know, provinces, and it's this province against that province, and this town against that town. So it was like that. It was like that. But it was such a wild west type of league, man. Like, damn, that shit was crazy. It just coming from my perspective of coming from the States, coming from Hawaii, and then shot into this amateur league where we're traveling to different provinces. You know, we're doing 5 guys to a room. So it was an adjustment, but you know, I just rolled with it and just had so much fun on that team.
What was your wildest game or maybe wildest memory with your team that you could share?
Man, like I remember me and Bonbon Custodio used to go at each other hard. Like a healthy, hard competition. We didn't hate each other, but like he was really popular on his come up. He had his Super Saiyan Dragon Ball Z hair. I don't know if you remember. He used to like put that up in a huge spike.
Yeah.
And you know, the crowds would be packed up in some province gym, and you know, I'm the new Philam that's there, so you know, I'm a target. So he would always try to go at me, and I loved it. I'd go back at him, and crowd is going crazy where we're just literally taking turns going one-on-one on each other. Like, just teams are just clearing out. He goes on one-on-one on me. Okay, he scores. Oh, it's my turn. Clear out. I try to go at him.
Yeah.
That was a fun sequence. I'd say that one sticks out.
Yeah. what do you call it? How did you adjust with the Filipino style of game? Because other people that live in the US or in Europe, when they get here, they get pissed because they get pushed around, they
Yeah.
get elbowed everywhere, they get
Yeah.
hit
I mean,
everywhere. How do you adjust?
I got lucky. Because my style of play is, I'm physical, I'm rough. Especially in my younger days, I was so more crazy, and so I was just fine with the physicality. It didn't affect me. I was okay with it. I'm trying to think what was different. I did had to adjust to trash talking. In the States, it's more common to really just talk. Here, we don't talk to each other. It's more of like, I'll secretly elbow you in the
next
back
possession.
next play.
Yeah.
That's the way you
Yeah.
talk shit to each other.
Yeah.
So I had to adjust with that. That took me some time to adjust to, because I'm used to just talking shit to someone, not doing the Filipino way.
Yeah. That's why. But then I think you were able to adjust.
Say what?
You were able to adjust well, I think.
Yeah, I was okay, man. I really was okay. It wasn't that bad.
So how about the stint in Liga Filipinas? I think you were required to do it. What was the reason and why you were kind of required to do it before entering the draft?
Right. Every year, the PBA board just puts rules down for that year, depending on the situation of influx of Philams that are trying to come into the league. Because we do have a limit per team still, which is like 5 Philams per team, something like that.
Yeah.
So they always had to gauge that right there. So sometimes the rule is you have to play 1 full year in the amateur league. I've seen it in where they changed it. You have to play 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made rules all of a sudden, like, you only need 25 games. That's all. So it was always changing. For me, it was just 25 games. I had to play 25 games before I was allowed to be applicable for the draft. So they just bum rushed 25 games with this Liga team, just so I can make the draft.
Yeah.
We held exhibitions, for just so that it would count as a game.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about, do you have any thoughts on like people have some thoughts about the Philam rule now, like Jason Brickman, Jeremiah Gray, they couldn't apply in the draft, like Taylor Statham, I think. What's your thoughts on that? Because some people have like opinions on that some people do not agree with, really.
And it definitely needs to be looked at again, for sure. It is, we're in different times, and as times change, we need to change, and I'm sure the PBA is talking about it. I'm sure it's being addressed. I'm sure it's just that they're just hanging on the seats of their coattails right now, trying to handle this whole pandemic and making sure no one gets positive COVID results. Like, I know they are hands full right now. So I think once everything calms down, they're going to readdress that issue. I'm sure they're going to make the right decision. I'm sure.
Hopefully. Jason Brickman's been trying to apply for the draft since I don't know how many years ago. I've heard his name since maybe 2016, and he hasn't been able to get it.
It's so hard these days, man. Yeah. It's so hard. Like, some of the OGs, we talk about how lucky we were to get in the league.
For sure.
So easy. Like, I just had to play 25 games. Bam, I'm in the league. Yeah. That's it. I didn't have to do anything. I just had a great time and traveled with my teammates to all these cool provinces I never been to, ate some dope food, met all these cool mayors and people. It was fun. Like, before I knew it, like, it was done, It was such a great experience.
You're just enjoying life as it goes.
I was just enjoying life. Yeah. I wasn't struggling or anything. Yeah. It was such a great, I was so lucky, to be in a position like that.
For sure. So moving on to your TNT stint, that was like a star-studded team. People say it was like a dynasty with all the star players there. How are you able to mesh well with the team, with all the superstars, and with their like shepherds like Jimmy Alapag and Jason Castro was also entering, and then Ranidel was there, I think, and other players.
It was so easy.
How was it for you?
Awesome. Those guys, everyone, stand-up character, stand-up good guy. It was so easy to fit in. You just really had to copy what the old guys were doing because they were such good people. You didn't have to ask much of what you had to do, you just had to copy them. They would come to practices early, so you would have to come to practice early too, because you didn't want to stick out and look bad and be the one that's not coming early. So you just kind of got in line and followed what they did. And Coach Chad had a great philosophy and system he put in place that really made us bond as a team. You know, we were really the only team during that era that was like doing some crazy ass training camps abroad. Like every year, Diego, we were going to Las Vegas or Serbia or Milan, Italy or Lithuania or
all
Qatar.
over the world.
Yeah, Qatar, Australia. I know I'm missing something. And these are just training camps. This is not like, these are training camps. How crazy is that? Well, coach will think this whole thing out, put us in the mountains in the middle of nowhere in some country. And we just literally like have each other with no wives, no girlfriends, no kids around. And we're just bonding. And that shit really helps. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
you do shit like that with your team. Yeah. You share some good stories. You kind of relate to each other of your whole grow up experience, and all of a sudden you feel like brothers, and you're going to play harder for each other. You know, you're not going to care who gets the credit, you know?
Yeah.
So, again, I kind of went off and
No,
started talking a lot.
Fine.
You can tell I really love those guys.
Yeah.
Great experience. Yeah. So easy to follow.
Yeah, I had Coach Chot like a few episodes back also, and he was talking about how special the team was, and he really you guys won a lot of all Filipino crowns, which is kind of the hardest. Like most people say, it's the hardest because there's no import, and you guys won a lot. I think maybe 3. I don't know, 4.
Yeah, mind you, we didn't have any 7-footers. Our tallest dude was 6'6", and we were just killing folks. That's what made it so crazy, you know. So it was. You really didn't know in that moment how good we really had it in terms of good vibes, good atmosphere, winning a lot, like good, like you really take it for granted until you're not in that moment with those people anymore, and you kind of like, damn, that was special. Shit, this is crazy. It's not like this. It's not like this all the time.
Yeah, when you look back to it, that's when you'll realize.
Yeah.
How was the dribble drive for your game? Was it perfect suited for your style of play also, because Coach Chot said it was fun to implement it with you guys?
It was. For me, it worked. I was such a hard slasher, and it's so funny. Like no one knows this. Like when I came out of college, I was a shooter.
Okay.
Like I was a 40% 3-point shooter. That was my role in college because in D1, everyone can jump. Everyone's fast. Everyone is so big. I wasn't the athletic one at all. I had to be the shooter. So when I get drafted, I get put on TNT. All of a sudden, I'm not the shooter. I'm the most athletic one all of a sudden.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And they're telling me like, JD, we don't need you to shoot, bro. We have Jimmy Alapog here. He's pretty good. Trust us, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it was like, duh, yeah, Jimmy's way better than me in shooting, of course.
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, the Larry Fonashir, he's better.
Oh, yeah, Fonashir. Ren Retwalo, I think he was there.
Retwalo, you know, Ronnie Del Campo.
Yeah.
So it was more back then, like when you have such a star-studded team, you just have to be good at one thing, you know, and do it really good. So my role was just getting to that cup, just penetrating, trying to dunk on people. That was my role with that team at that time.
How about maybe the most special championship for you in that run? What was it? What could you say it was? Or was it more of everything? Like it had something special?
Yeah. Oh man. There's this one where we got our 3-peat, where we were the first team to win 3 All Filipinos. It was against Rain or Shine. That was probably the peak of our performance as a team. We won 4-0 the finals. It was such a boring series. We shut them out. We had this one sequence in game 4 in the last quarter where, you know, I trick off like 4 threes. You know, we're throwing oops to Kelly for and ones off the fucking glass for like, we were so connected. And what made it crazy was that whole series. So Jason got best player of the conference. Ronnie Dell got finals MVP, right? But for all 4 of those games, it was always someone else that got player of the game. Like,
Wow.
and it never was Ronnie Dell or Jason. It was always like Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy, Ollie got one, I got one, Larry got one, and then isn't that crazy? And then
it is.
And then still Dale gets Finals MVP, or Jason didn't even kill it in the finals. Just everyone kind of did, you know. That was probably the most special because it was just we won it so easily. Like we were just shocked too. Like wow, this was crazy. That was special, you know.
Yeah. How about moving on to Meralco? What was the reason or why you went there? Like, what was the story and why you suddenly moved teams, even if you guys were successful with TNT?
So I'm the guy that ruined the dynasty, apparently. So I got a car accident really bad playing against Ginebra. I think in the semifinals of a playoff series, I got in a car accident. And, you know, I hate to say it, but it was because I was drinking and almost like I could have killed myself, you know. But, you know, I didn't. I was injured for a good 4 to 5 months. Wow. But, you know, management was really angry. They're very disappointed in me. So was at the time my coach was Coach Black. They were very disappointed in me. Of course, it was my fault. You know, I'm this kid. I needed to be accountable for my actions. I can't be doing stuff like that during the playoffs, you know. But it happened. So that's where we were. And that was the reason why I got traded to Morocco, because of that. So they wanted to keep me in the company, but you know, there has to be consequences for things when you make mistakes like that. And that's what happened.
With the incident that you mentioned, how did Meralco accept you though, even if they knew at the back of their head that you went there?
Oh man, they took me with open arms. They were so happy I was there. You know, I had such a huge chip on my shoulder. I was so motivated when I first came back. I looked like a freaking monster when I came back. Like I was so buffed out and I was so crazy looking and I was just playing so hard and working so hard. All the guys accepted me right away on that team. Like as soon as I got on the team, they knew that I was all business. They immediately promoted me as captain and developed really good relationships over there. Really grew as a player over there. You know, I had to go through a lot of heartaches and a lot of, you know, on the other side of not winning, you know, of trying to make the playoffs or trying to just make it into quarters. You know, it's such a different vibe, such a different grind. So I definitely grew as a player a lot while there.
Was it Coach Ryan Gregorio at the time?
He was, yeah, Coach Ryan for I think the first 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
And then it was Coach Black.
Okay. After that. Then the core was like you, Gary David, or was that?
Yeah, he was like me, Gary David, Raynel Hugnatan.
Yeah.
Mike Cortez.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that was like the main 4 because Becerra and Chris Newsom wasn't there yet. Yeah,
they were in college, I think, during that time.
So at that time it was me, Mike, Gary. People are gonna kill me if I can't remember. Jimmy Alpog was there for 2 years. I forgot.
Yeah, after his TNT stint, he went there. What were the main lessons
Jimmy was on Morocco.
You imparted to them though? Even as like you said, you were the veteran, you were the captain, and then from TNT you experienced a ton of like achievements like the championships and these best player of the games and all these accolades.
Yeah, you know, like I was still a young guy, and they made me a captain. And, you know, I've never been a captain before on a team, and I took that really like with respect. I was calling Jimmy all the time, asking for advice because I didn't want to act like I'm some big shit kid that's a captain. You know, there's vets on our team. I don't want to disrespect them. I wanted to try to go about this correct way. So I was really stressed trying to be a good captain, you know. But it was yeah, it was fine. It was fun. Trying to think what else to say here. Like, it was a great experience nonetheless.
Yeah, it was a terrific experience. How about the one with Calvin Abueva? Like you guys had a scuffle. I remember that when you were in Meralco. What was the story to that? Man. What happened after?
He's just a showman. Calvin, he's such a showman. He's great for the league. You know, it's so entertaining to watch. had it been someone else that hit me in the face, I would have rubbed it off and not cared. But since it was him, I was so angry because it's like, dude, come on, you just blocked my shot. Like, you don't have to be extra and just flare your arms. But again, like, you know, I pulled on his jersey, I tugged him back, like physics pulling arms. So in hindsight, it's like, you know, I can see how we can kind of do that and it be an accident. But to him, I was like, that's no fucking accident. I need to get this dude back.
I remember that game. It was like a first game, and it's a Wednesday afternoon. I think people weren't watching.
Just on Wednesday afternoon, just chill.
But then people started watching because of what happened.
Because of I'm always causing headlines. Jeez. But honestly, Calvin's cool, man. Off the court, he's such a cool guy. Normal dude. Just like anyone.
How about the Ascension of Maralco? What was the key factor on why you guys suddenly made the finals with Alan Durham in the Governor's Cup? What was the what were the?
What was the main factor? We just made big plays. We made big plays in the playoffs. That's all it was. That's all it is when you get to the bigger stage. You got to make plays at the end, and we're always good at getting to the end before making those finals. But somehow we would cough it up and do something stupid, make a mistake, something that wouldn't put us over the edge. So Alan was a beast, of course, as always. Any import that Coach Black picks is just freaking kills it. And locals, we just had to make sure we made big plays when it was the big moment. And we were able to do that for a bit. That's why we were able to get to a handful of those finals.
I talked to you about this before we recorded, but how was the Joe Devans trash talk before the series when you get the coaches
so much fun
at you guys?
So much fun. I'm sure Joe was talking about it. Like, it was so much fun because we were just playing off each other's vibes and treating it like some WWE sanction where we're just talking smack to each other. That's all it really was, just to try to make some narrative that we don't like each other and people are going to watch it, you know? So it was really fun at the time. Like, I really enjoyed, you know, talking trash and dude, like going on any show, just admitting that I hate Ginebra and saying I don't like them, just thinking of stupid, silly stuff to say just to make it fun. It's crazy though. Like, people really take it serious. Like, I was
for sure
for a while.
Was that the series when you played in Philippine Arena for game 5 to 7? And people were like,
it was so much fun, man. So much fun. Such a great experience. So many people. Felt so surreal being there. Like, the games went by so quick because you felt like little ants in this huge arena and everyone's watching you, and such a big spectacle to be a part of, you know, something I really won't forget. You know, it was such a gnarly time to play ball. Like it was for sure top 3 moments, I think, in my career. Outside, you know, like even being on the national team, like that was so special, that event, you know.
How about the injuries you needed to overcome? Because I was looking for articles about you last night when Meralco, and then there were a ton of games, crucial games, when you were like questionable. You weren't there in the playoffs or during the season. You weren't there in the start. How was it for you mentally? Because sometimes when players get injured and it's repetitive, they have a tough time bouncing back already. But for you, how did you stay strong and still continue your career? And you're still playing until like now.
Man, I really was in the darkness for a while. I'm telling you, when I was going through injuries and mental battles with myself, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through mentally. Like, I'm glad I got through it now because it did make me stronger, and I have a whole new perspective and outlook on how I play and how I go about my business. But when I was in the thick of it, I'm shooting up injection after injection and just never training. I'm always in rehab. I never had a season in Morocco where I had just full on training. I had to do some sort of rehab in the off season, and I would be behind once training camp happened, and I'm playing catch up. And you know, mind you, during that time, I'm the highest paid player in the team. I'm the captain.
Remember.
So there are a lot of expectations. JD, don't let us down, buddy. Like sacrifice, discipline, like all that stuff had to come into play. And it was such a bad way to to try to play through all those types of injuries, man. It really wore down on me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really thinking about retirement. There's whispers within the organization that, maybe I'm not really hurt. It was just
like Kawhi went into Spurs.
yeah, but to their, I understand, like to their perspective, like, yeah, like I understand where they're coming from now, but in that moment, you're just feeling so many emotions. Like, man, how come no one believes me? Like, I would play if I'm really okay, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is embarrassing. Being hurt and sitting and watching, it's the worst. So it was just bad on both sides, So it was really such a breath of fresh air to have a restart, when I went to Ginebra, and so fortunate, they took me in and was so patient with me and really allowed me to get myself put back together. And now, lo and behold, I'm still playing and still doing okay, and I got no complaints.
Yeah. How about the story of why you went to Ginebra? Because some people, was it like the injuries part? Maybe like Meralco got disappointed because you kept getting injured already and you weren't on the floor, or were there other underlying reasons that you might be able to share on why you moved to Ginebra? Because people were kind of bashing you also for the reason, because it was kind of sudden on why you went to Ginebra, and people were kind of looking for an explanation to it.
Yeah, well, I went over to Ginebra because I had an opportunity that was best in my personal, like, interest for me. And I had nothing against Morocco. They gave me the opportunity to be the player who I am today. And it's nothing personal at all. It's just I made a business decision, and I went about it the right way with the people that are close to me or that I respect. When I did leave, I spoke to Coach Black right away when I made my decision. We had a nice long talk. I called the manager. I let my teammates know what was going to drop before any of the news came out. So I did go about it in the right way like that to make sure the people that I care about knew what was going to happen and go down. But things like this happen all the time. Guys leaving one team, going to another. Guys getting traded, guys getting released. It sucks. This is just the nature and part of this business of the PBA that we don't talk about enough. So this is normal. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, trades, let go, cut, different teams. It's all part of the business.
Yeah. How about these tough times? Like you were injured and then people were saying stuff that weren't true about you leaving Meralco. Like they were saying fake news about you, why you moved to Ginebra. How did you have like a support system or people you talk to, like your wife maybe or your friends that you really talk to?
Yeah, no, man, I have such a great support system. So yeah, my woman, her name's Angie. It's not my woman, but Angie, she, man, just, and my grandparents too, of course. I'm really close to my grandparents, so for those who don't know, but it was really just, Angie really just keeping my head on straight. I had good friends like Jimmy, Harvey, Ollie Peak, those guys, I really keep a close circle around me, and man, had I not have her, I wouldn't have handled it as well as I did, to be honest. So, because there was a lot of noise, of course. So, you don't want to listen and read into all of that. It's just such a negative thing to do. You're just going to get worked up. So sometimes you just got to like put down your phone, put down your electronics, hang out with the people you love, and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. So moving on to your Ginebra stint, I mentioned earlier that you were like, that's a great introduction on how Coach Tim got you. And in my opinion, since I'm a Ginebra fan and I watch all the games, your Coach Tim really got you because of the versatility. Like you can play any position. He can make you guard the best wing player, guard player from the opposing team. And you have a high
Mhm.
basketball IQ, I think. So the triangle wasn't a worry for you to understand. Like some players had a tough time, but maybe for you, you did. But it's not that obvious when you watch anymore. So how was it you going with a system already that was set and that star players were already there with the LA Chaplet? Yeah.
It was so easy. Like it wasn't whether I could play or not and keep up with the system with the guys, because I've been on the national team with LA and Jap and Jeff. I played with who else was on? I was just those guys on the national team. I never played with Christian or Stan. I'm trying to think. Yeah. But so just to say, it wasn't hard because we were more concerned of like, is my body gonna hold up? That was the big question mark. Um, that's what we had to figure out because I really didn't play in a long time, and I would show bits and flashes of in practice when I first got on the team, but I was still so injured. So to be honest, no one really knew what they were going to get out of me until this most recent bubble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had no idea, to be honest. They were just winging it. So me and coach, we would talk, and we were just talking to each other after the championship, like so happy that we won and everything, and moving to next upcoming season. And it's just this whole like, I'm not gonna be honest with you, JD, like I didn't know how to play you
Yeah.
during the bubble because we were so concerned of your injuries and we wanted to make sure you're gonna be okay. And how least do we play? It was always a battle of like how much, because he always wanted to play me and put me in, but he just wasn't sure. And I told him the same thing. I'm like, coach, I didn't know either. I was winging it too. I just appreciate that you trusted me and let me, really work through that. And because it was such a mental battle. And now moving forward, now that I'm healthy, I'm found the blueprint to stay okay and play at a pace that's still efficient and still really good. I can't wait for the season to start. So I'm going to be excited. Don't know what's in store, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah. How did you enhance your like versatility on the floor? Because I mentioned that you were versatile, and Coach Tim, when there were big games that you guys had trouble, I think he made a lineup change and then he put you in the starting lineup so that the defense could switch more and you're a bigger body that could guard the guards. I forgot who you were
Yeah.
against, if it was Meralco or TNT already. But then he made you guard like Chris, I think, or Pogoy, I forgot. But you guys,
Yeah.
you were on
Yep.
one of the great wing players of the opposing team. How did you develop that, having a tough mindset of being versatile and doing anything the coach would make you do?
Right. Oh man. Okay. During that whole bubble, I would have to guard the best player on the team. Always had to guard. We played Phoenix. I had to guard Matthew Wright. I had to share it with our other defenders because I wasn't a starter.
Yeah.
So I would pick up after AJ or Ajan, or who else would I play behind, or Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty.
So between us three, we're usually the ones that are guarding the best players. But yeah, for me, of course, I'm not the fastest, so I have to use angles and use my brain and talk and communicate a lot. But I kind of felt like I got the hang of that pretty well. So just as long as my body hangs together, I'm okay. I'm pretty okay out there.
Yeah. I think it's been doing well. Even if I could see it in the bubble, you were still effective. Even if your minutes weren't that high anymore compared to your Meralco.
Yeah, I just wanted to be good at doing my job. Just my role.
It's still efficient. Some players
Yeah.
are having a tough time when they get less minutes. They're not able to contribute already. But I think you were still able to do it.
You got to adapt, man. Like you got to adapt. Like beginning my career, I wasn't a shooter, but as I got older, the ball wasn't in my hands as much. We get like Becerra and Newsom all of a sudden on the team, and now they're better at playmaking. So it's like, okay, I got to make sure I'm a better shooter now, or I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of things like that. So you have to develop a shot or change in some way, or you're really going to get left behind.
Yeah. How about being able to still play at a high level at this age? Because I asked Joe that both of you, you guys get injured a lot already, maybe because of age, or it's not like how your body responds. But I also asked him, and he liked the question on how you guys still have the motivation to still play, because he spoke, I think, with Art de la Cruz, like before I had that interview, and Art asked him like, why are you still playing, Kuya? Like you're already like an 11-time champion or something, and you're
Yeah.
still playing. How about for you? What's your take on that, and why you still continue playing? And you're like, how many times have you won a championship already? You have so many
Right.
awards, and you're still
Right.
with Ginebra.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun, and I'm nearing the end, and I'm not taking anything for granted. Like, once it's over, it's really over. And the last thing I want is that I don't want to have any types of feelings in my head that, hey, man, if I just worked a little bit harder and took care of myself a little bit better, man, what could I have been? Or how long could I have played? Or things like that will come up in my head, especially after my whole just traumatic experience being injured so much,
Yeah.
with Morocco. So, moving forward, like if I'm going to go about this, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to make sure I have the right people around me in terms of trainers, and make sure I'm getting the right type of work in for my body, for my pace, just being really smart and efficient about my training. So I can just maximize this and just say, like, when it's all said and done, hey, man, I went all out. I did it the right way. Closure, I'm straight, like I'm good. So that's kind of how I'm vibing right now, and having such a good time.
How long do you
Loving it.
still intend to play? Maybe like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, geez, 5 years, that'd be crazy. I'm
That's
37.
what Joe
If I
said
can make
also.
it,
5 years is crazy.
I mean, it's crazy, man. If I could play till I'm 40, hey, happy, be happy as I can be. 40 is kind of my goal, but you never know, taking it year by year. I'm not gauging it really, other than just what I have going on this year.
Yeah. How about what you plan to do in the future? Do you plan to do a business? Like, do you have a business now, or do you do your
I mean,
vlogging?
yeah, no, I mean, that's all that stuff is fun. I'll probably open a business here, in the agriculture field, and I still want to stay connected with basketball, maybe coaching or training or just being around it. I'm not sure. I haven't determined yet. I'm probably going to take a break first before I get into it, but that's really it. I'm a simple dude. That's really it. Assistant coaching, agriculture. That's it.
How about your story with Nico Custodio? I saw a tweet of you that you wanted to train in Naga, I think, and you were able to train with him, and you were able to inspire him, I think, and he was lucky to be with you in Naga during that time. I forgot you just tweeted, and then people were replying to you
Yeah.
a few months back. How was that story like?
It
And what
was
did you
cool,
learn?
man. I mean, yeah, he's such a cool dude. It was such a random thing. I just, we're going to Naga to visit my girl's family, and we're gonna stay there for a couple weeks. So I needed bodies. I have all my training and all my own things in place, but I just needed extra people so I can show them what to do for training with me. So I sent out that tweet, just, hey guys, I need anyone that can come here.
Anyone?
Let's train. I don't care. It's all good.
Yeah.
So I just took in whoever responded back to me.
How many
And
did?
huh?
How many responded to you?
Not as many as you would think. I got like 10, 15 responses.
Okay.
And there's one person I already knew and had a relationship with.
Oh, okay.
He was a photographer on the national team, PBA, when I was my first couple years in the league. And it turns out he was a coach for Ateneo in Naga, current day.
Yeah.
So yep, we chopped it up and we linked up. He gave me his contacts of strength coach, another basketball trainer, and that was it. So right before we were going to start training, I let everyone know, like, you guys, we're going to do my training. Just follow this. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
In the next couple of weeks. They asked, oh, cool, JD, that's awesome. Can we just bring some of our guys though to train with you? I was like, yeah, man, bring whoever you want. It's all good. I don't care. They can just join us. I just only ask for one thing. Like, don't fucking be late. Don't be fucking around. Like, we're here to work.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as all that is there, hey, I don't care who comes. We'll get that work in together. And shows up Miko. Let me know he's trying to apply for the draft, and just a kid full of a million questions, and he's works hard. He listens. So yeah, I told him anything he wanted to know, and I respect anyone that wants to get better, wants to improve, wants to all about just getting better a little bit every day. Like, I really have fond respect for people like that. So when I see this kid working out every day and listening and wanting to get better, like it's all good for me, you know. I like people like that.
I love how you're very selfless. Even if you're already one of the top-notch players in the league, you still talk to people that want to learn from you. Because some maybe they'll be like, well, I mean, they won't like spend their time already teaching other people. Like you said, strangers, like people you've never met, and they were training with you. But then your personality and the vibe you give them, you're like they're comfortable with asking you questions and playing with you, training with you.
It's all good, man. It's crazy. Like these kids, man, like just ask sometimes. And some worst thing someone can say is no, right? That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But like, you know, this day and age, I mean, it's just all really about paying it forward. I have moments with guys who are in the pros and they gave me advice and they didn't have to, you know, and they really went out of their way to do it, you know, and it changed my life. It changed a huge direction of the way I thought about basketball and whatnot. And you know, when you get in situations like that as a person and you can help someone that will change their life possibly, like that's what life is all about. It kind of seems like, if there's anything, some right, like that's helping someone out. Like it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, that's a really great gesture that I like on what you're doing. And thank you also to that for helping others with your craft.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
So
Yeah.
as we wind down to the final portion of the podcast, thank you again, JD, for joining me here. I ask these questions to all my guests also.
Sure.
It's like a standard set of questions. So one of them is,
Okay.
you know how like in the NBA, in the bubble, they were very socially active and they were very vocal on the George Floyd and voting of the elections. And then here in the Philippines, the athletes aren't as vocal or as articulate maybe with how they want to like tell their thoughts on social and political issues. So for example, like in the elections, maybe players like you or volleyball players also, they can amplify their voices for the citizens to know more about their candidates or the issue. Because sometimes here in the Philippines, I see people tweet about issues or people that they don't even know the true story or the platform of the people, and they start tweeting it. People believe them, so it's all fake news. So what's your thoughts on athletes speaking up and being more vocal? Because maybe here, I don't know, our cultures may be different compared to the Americans, so they're more vocal. But then how about what are your thoughts on athletes being more vocal and talkative with the topic?
Right. I mean, I agree with free speech, you know, and for me, for my opinion, this doesn't reflect the opinion of others, obviously. Like, I stay away from politics. That's just what I'm about. That's how I am, you know, to each their own, in essence, right? I don't have any issues with anyone else wanting to voice their opinion on these social media platforms. It's their life, their decision. They're not hurting anyone, right? They're not killing anyone per se. This is just their form of an opinion. So anyone can choose to do what they want. I respect that fully. But for me, even when I was in the States, I stayed away from politics. You know, left wing, right wing, it's the same umbrella. Can we just get along? And it's for the people, you know? So that's just only my take.
I think that's great. Like you guys have a common goal also to like help the country ascend and improve. So why not just why do you guys just argue all the time on certain stuff? Not necessary.
Ultimately it is for the people. And I know you want your views and their views, but in the end, like, come on, guys. Come on.
How about for the next question? It's from All the Smoke. I'm not sure if you watched that podcast with Matt
All the Smoke.
And
of course
Steven
I do.
Jackson. One of the questions they asked towards the end is, who are 5 people you'd want to have dinner with, dead or alive? Who would you choose?
Okay. Dead or alive. So Kobe would be up there. Michael Jackson would be there. Bob Marley would be there. Geez, I'm trying to think, man. So I'll give you 2 decent ones. Babe Ruth would be cool to just sit down, have a cigar with. And who have dinner with still, dead or alive? I mean, so deep in basketball sports. I guess Jordan.
Yeah,
So
Jordan.
what yeah. Jordan, Kobe, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, and then
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
a star-studded list out of big names.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you put me on the spot. I had to think of something.
Yeah. How about for the next question? This is also the question I ask others: Is who do you think I should invite here on the DVD show? Because I've had a lot of guests already, but then I don't really have connection, so I just message anyone who I have like
Sure.
a list, and then I just message anyone across any sport. It can be any
Right.
sport, and then I just invite them. Who do you think could also join me here on the DVD show?
Okay, cool, man. Something that would give you great content, who gives really great answers and speaks well, like give me a sec, just give me like 30 more seconds here.
Yeah,
I'm
it's fine.
just really trying to
No
think
worries.
of a good one for you.
Yeah.
My first guy I thought about was Harvey Carey, just because he drops some great knowledge of life in the game.
Yeah.
And he's always happy to talk to anyone, I would say him. Yeah, I would say Harvey Carey.
Yeah, he's a very underrated player and undersized also because he played like the 4, I think, before, and then he kind of hard to play the 3 because he doesn't have an outside shot. But he played the 4 and he'd still get like 10 to 12 rebounds even if he was 4 only.
Yeah, he's
Great
like 6'3", really, to be honest. He's not that tall, but yeah, I learned so much from that dude in terms of humility and respecting others and just having such a good mentals. It's really, man, that dude taught me so much.
Yeah. Felt like a Udonis Haslam. I don't know. That's what I saw and see.
Fully. Yep.
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you so much again, JD, for joining me here on the DVD show. I appreciate the time, even if you're busy with practice already for the season. You still took some time, like an hour here, to guest on my podcast. So, do you have any final message before you go?
I don't. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm really honored. For you to pick me to be on your podcast. Don't forget about me when you get really famous, okay?
Of course.
I'm gonna hit you up sometime down the line.
Yeah, of course.
Don't push me off to the side, huh?
Yeah, of course. Gabe told me the same thing. He said, "Oh, in the future, Gabe Norwood." Yeah, he said,
Yeah.
You're gonna guest now when after a few episodes again."
Yeah, when you have your own show on CNN or something like that. I don't know.
Hopefully. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you for having me. They were great questions. Very respectful. Appreciate your time. Hope all is well, man. Stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Take care.
Learned a lot. Learned a lot from your life stories, and hopefully the audience could also apply it on their life because you said a lot of good lessons that they could apply even if they're not athletes.
Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Cool.
Yeah. Before you go, is it okay if we take a picture?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Tell me when here.
Yeah.
Are we just smiling? Or are we doing
like any?
Okay.
You can do anything.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Here, let's take a normal one. Let's take a normal one, just in case.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I think it took. Already. Okay. Thank you so much again, JD. Good luck in the upcoming season. Hopefully it starts soon.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, Diego. You take care.
Okay, take care as well. Bye-bye.
All right, man.